Hey, it's Uncle Joe Hikes. We're here at the Wildcat Creek campground in Dawson Forest, and we're going to do part of the Wildcat Creek Loop. Probably not the whole thing. Time's kind of getting away from me this morning. It's already noon, pretty close to noon, so we're going to do a portion of it just to get out and see some waterfalls. I think there's some small waterfalls on this loop too, so should be pretty fun. Yeah. So this campground's actually pretty nice. It's real pretty in here. Cleared out pretty good. I saw one tent back over across the river or the creek, but nobody else so far. But there's a creek run right through here, and we may actually have to cross it, but there may be some bridges. I just don't know. There's a bridge back there, but I don't mean there's gonna be a bridge up here. I saw one report where somebody said they fell in, so that must mean they were not on a bridge. But yeah, it's pretty nice campground down here. This is a WMA, so I got my orange blaze on the back. Hopefully I don't get shot. So it's not real easy to find your way as you come through where the little road basically stops, the drive. But you want to go between these two big hemlocks here. I kind of went up and around another little beat out trail. I managed to find this, but this is kind of where you want to go, where this beats out. You can find it. It's a little bit wider track than the one that I found over there. But yeah, I haven't seen any blazes. Maybe that'll change, but we'll see. So we got a place here where a couple of creeks come together. I don't know if they basically split down there and come back together, or if this is two different creeks, but we'll see. People have been coming down to the edge of the creek here. We're gonna keep moving. The footbridge is a little bit old. Dilapidated. So that may be our first blaze of any real sort. Looks like there's a little bit of paint on this tree over here. I don't know what the official is. There's another blaze here. So it's a little breezy this morning, or today, so you may get a little bit of wind noise. I apologize for that. This whole area is kind of low. We're several feet off the creek, but it looks like the kind of area that may have flooded a little bit at certain times of the year. You can see out through there. Got a lot of rain last night, but the ground's pretty dry, which I'm glad to see. I was a little concerned we might have some mud, but so far no. So we've come out of that low area now. We got a side slope beside us, and terrain's definitely changed. It's nice though. Got these hemlocks and such. The pine needles down on the ground makes for really great walking. I always love walking on needles. Pine needles, that is. Surgical needles would be no fun, but these are nice. We got a little interesting there. Somebody put some rope up there for you to hold on to as you came down, because it just got real steep coming in there, and you have to come down here along the creek bed too. So yeah, if water came up, I don't know what you'd do. You'd have to go up the hill, make your way down. But it's low enough today that we can just come through here. But yeah, it's what it is. Yeah, nice sitting logs. Beautiful spot though. Little hole there if you want to swim. Probably a lot of fun in the summertime. Had some hogs rooting in here. Yeah. We'll keep our eyes peeled for them. Hogs can be a little bit ornery, especially if you spook them, much like bears. But yeah, you don't want to run into them. You can help it. I don't hear anything out there in the woods, so that may all be from last night or something, or this morning. It's relatively new. You could see it hasn't been rained on or anything, so they've been out here this morning for sure. Got a little bit of ground cedar here on this slope, and even down in this draw a little bit. As we come back up and out of that flood area, get into some rhododendrons. Well, we're going to keep along the creek side here. Trail's beat out really good. Creek kind of meanders a little slower up here, it seems like. Sandy bottom, it looks like, too. I don't really see any fish. Haven't seen anything so far. It's a little confusing here because you got this blaze, but I don't think that's our route. I think it's right here to the right. That looks like it just goes to the creek. And looking at the track, it's like we veer a little bit to the right here. Yeah, we're up on this side slope. And there's a couple of places along this trail where you'll go up the slope and it looks like the trail goes nowhere, and then it'll flatten out. That's what it did here. We came up and then flattened on the side slope. So you gotta kind of stick with the beaten path. Even though it looks like it's gonna take you nowhere, it'll take you there. You'll see it when you get up to the top of the little rise, and the trail does flatten on out to your left or something. That's two of them that I've come up that's done that. With the leaves down too, it's kind of hard. You know, you really don't know till you're up on top of the trail that it is beaten out. We can hear some cascades down there. We're way up the hillside from the creek right now. So we're climbing up out of this. We've kind of been in a flood area here, you might say, low area. Somebody put a cable here, kind of help you get up this bank. Not a lot of good foot ledges up here toward the top. A couple of, actually 3 really large trees right here. It's really nice. And another big one over there. Camera's not going to do it justice, but trust me, it's a big old feller. Beautiful. They just make for great scenery, great trail bed. Yeah, there's a number of big ones in here. There's another one across back there behind that tree going up. It's gorgeous. You can see the water coming down. This is a draw up through here, trickling in and making its way down to the creek. Under here probably, and then out into there. So seeping underneath all of this. Beautiful. The creek's really beautiful. Well, it's starting to get interesting here because we got some cable there, some rock to get up, so the trail just kind of goes nowhere right here. All right, nothing today but scramble. As another side note before I take off, look at the way that tree is just perched right on that flat rock. That is just awesome. So we're under this overhang. You can see some dirt daubers have been making some nests. Got a little bit of water coming off this rock. It's making things a little wet. There's a nice ledge here, but can't really walk it because of the water. Gotta watch your footing. A little bit of mud right there, but really wet leaves mainly. Yeah, you can see the trees growing up there, right out of the rock. It's just amazing. All right, we came down into this old road bed or draw or something, and it takes us up to this footbridge. And here we go. So as it turns out, crossing this bridge was a mistake. I kept seeing myself off track and wondering, why has it got me like 100 yards or 50 yards to one side? It's because that double track heads back, connects to the back side of this trail, heading back. What we were supposed to do was go up that. So that's what we're doing now. Coming back across a bridge, you got to climb up this hill. It's a big climb to get up out of the creek bed. You can't see it from here. Trust me. Steep climb to get up here. Out of breath. All right, so we've moved out of rhododendrons into some laurels. Kind of still up on this slope. But we're back on the right track at least, which is nice. Well, there's our sign. We can see here, tobacco pouch, Fall Creek Trail, all that this way. So, always nice to know you're back on the right track. Got turned around back there across that bridge when I shouldn't have. Here's the conundrum. When we get over there, we're not going to have a whole lot of places to step. We're going to see what happens. Well, we made it across there. Wasn't too bad, really. Last few steps. No fun, but yeah. I know where to go now, but up. So we're at some double track. Apparently this is going to take us to the falls. Of course it would be down, but let's go check it out. Well, here's the payoff, and it's gorgeous. You're going to get your feet a little wet getting back here, but there may have been a way to come in over there and not cross this creek, but I just came across the creek, and it starts way up yonder. Beautiful. Pretty cool. The camera won't do that justice. That's a steep slog up that double track, but brings us to the fork. That continues on a much larger loop. We're going to go this way, cut over and grab the other side, and then head down. So after I breathe a little bit, whew. Blazes up here are blue. I believe this is Tobacco Road Trail, if I'm not mistaken. We're about a third, maybe halfway across it. And we'll come to another intersection. This is basically dissecting the loop up at the northern end of it. And honk. So we're just cutting it off at the top. I hear somebody up ahead of me, so I got my blaze out on my shoulder, whistling a little. Here they are. So it turns out that was a family that's doing the loop I'm doing kind of backwards. Well, exactly backwards. And I guess I'm going to have a creek crossing up here at some point. They said this is going to be a big climb. But at some point, I got a creek because I guess they all got their feet wet. But anyway, we got to climb. Get up this wash here. So coming up from there, all I can see is up into this, you know, just up. And it gives the illusion that you're about to summit until you get around the turn. And this just keeps going up. Camera's going to make this look level, but it's not. This is about level, so it's going to keep going up. Just like those people told me, it's going to keep on climbing. Well, when you first come to that fork and you start this double track, you go down to a little saddle and then up. And after you start that turn up, it just doesn't stop. And we're still going up. And we'll be going up really until we connect with the other trail, which is still a long ways up. So, yeah, this Tobacco Road trail clearly should be a one-way. Thankfully, we don't have to go that way. We're going that way. Whew. We're up here a good ways too. Right now, I gotta sit on that rock. I'm more out. We're making our way off of this hilltop here from that junction, and it should be taking us out on a ridge, you know, kind of planing out onto a ridge, and we can see that on each side of us here. The terrain drops off. And it's still got a good bit of trail left to get back to the truck, but I think our big climbing's behind us, which is good. I wouldn't recommend coming this direction. I mean, you got to get up there either way if you're going to do this loop. But certainly that Tobacco Road, or whatever it's called, heading kind of east to west, or maybe that's north to south. It's just one big wide old forest road bed that just goes straight up the fall line. Very deep V too. It's just a really strenuous climb. But it's behind us now, that's what matters. And a good sized tree. We're still making our way down this ridge. Opened up a little bit at least. Some of the vegetation opened up. Not as growed over as it was. Some deadfall there, had to get through. We finally got down to the lower end of this tongue. We still got some dropping to do. We could hear the creek though off to our right, down the hill. And we still got some dropping to do here. I keep my eyes out, see if I see anything. Any wildlife, but all I got is some kind of bird or woodchuck or something. Thought it was just a chipmunk, but I'm thinking it might be a bird now because I think it's moving around. Oh wow, okay. And a squirrel. The squirrel's, camera would never catch the squirrel, but he's down there. I can see his tail fluttering around. So maybe that's what I hear hollering at me. I don't know. Not nothing teched off with my presence. All right, we're at the turn here. Now, of course, goes up the way we came. We're heading this way. I would say that's really not particularly interesting. It's a long slog coming downhill. That leg going that way from when you leave the falls is probably, other than just to do it, was probably not the best way to do it. Getting into some beautiful creekside stuff at least, and that's kind of nice. But yeah, it's kind of nice and open up there, but it's nice to be back here in some single track, and or at least what looks like single track for now. Maybe a little bit of double track over there, but so I took way too much time here figuring out how to come through there. I had to come across a log over there, and it was just a bad spot to try to come across, but it was about the only spot that was going to give me any kind of debris to use. Yeah, and that looked really slick. I didn't want to try that, so anyway, I'm across. That's what matters. What a mess. Nice little cascade though. All right, we're at a junction here with Windy Ridge, Rocky Ford, and Turner. We're gonna keep on to our left. You can really hear the cascade down there. There's an old trail bed that goes in down there, and the GPS track I've been following shows that as part of its route. Presumably takes you to another falls down there. It didn't look like it'd been used very much. There's a lot of deadfall on it. I could see just looking down it. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to go down there. We can save it for another time. But I want to make our way around this loop. Okay, we're going to keep looking straight ahead just to the right. As I just saw, keep looking just to the right. I believe I just saw a big owl swoop through, which means we may see him take off again. Be right out in here somewhere. If he hasn't already left. Maybe up there somewhere. Around the time I turn the camera off, I'm gonna lock it around. There's a big old, straight ahead, that ball up there looks like it might be a big old hornet's nest. All right, we just came down here, Rocky Ford. That is actually the double track that I got turned around on when I came back that wrong way where those ladies were hiking, and I came down. This is where it would have brought me to. So we're going to finish out this way to the right, and that'll take us back up and around to the parking lot. We'll approach it from the other side of the creek, so from across the creek. Well, the double track is forest road bed is smoothing out a little bit here. No vegetation in the middle all of a sudden. So all that kind of gave way to this nice open area, which is nice. You know, I find single track far more interesting. And this is okay. There's just a lot of it, you know, on this side of the creek. Far more interesting hike would probably be to stay on the other side and stay on the single track out and back. And when you get to where the falls turnoff is, that's one thing, but you'd have a lot less of this type of thing. But it's still okay. I mean, it is what it is. Beautiful tree there. Big old fella. And even way up there, he's still got a big giant limb. Here's where the Windy Ridge Loop comes in. It goes up and around. We stay forging ahead. Well, this double track's not without some of its charms. You get into areas like this, you got the creek beside you here. It's beautiful. All right, last little leg here. This is the road that I believe goes down and crosses right there by where I'm parked. And we'll be turning off a little bit to the right here shortly to take the footbridge across. We should be getting real close here. All right, we can see the road, the river, creek. I went in back over to my right and decided to come back and because there's actually a blaze to take us in right here. So there's our blaze. Folks have a tent right here. I saw that earlier. That tent looks completely abandoned. All right, cross the bridge. See the creek making its way. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Wildcat Creek partial loop done. It was nice. Had some very, very beautiful areas. The waterfall was nice. But I'd say everything on that side of the creek coming back was, you know, probably less interesting, though it had some interesting spots. There's a lot of old forest road bed and so much climbing up that tobacco road trail or whatever. That was just kind of a fruitless endeavor, and it took probably is what slowed me down a good bit. It took a lot of time. It was just a long, ridiculous climb. But the single track and everything on this side is interesting. You want to come here in a dry time. I could see where if we had a lot of heavy rain, that could get a little marshy. But beautiful trail in most respects, though. It was a good hike. So yeah, interesting for sure. And the creek is you're in and out of it. You know, it's you're around it all the time, which makes it really, really beautiful. But yeah, it's done, and I'm done.